there's 4 characters that got their treasure today. Alright, treasure update. We'll look at Poli the Lolly. Okay, Poli the Lolly. Now Poli has been one of the worst victim for the longest time ever. I feel bad for her. She's actually really good, but she suffers from a 40 seconds burst. So now we have a little bit of improvements and we can actually have a comparison and see if she's strong or not. So let's see. So the first skill, skill 1 activates every 5 normal attacks, affects all allies, increase attack by 5.4% for 10 seconds. After your favorite item her, everything still remains, and now activates when enter the battle, affects self, police badge, creates a shield equal to 100% of the caster's final max HP for 10 seconds. Okay, how useful is this? She gives shield but only to herself, alright? I guess it's okay, but it would be nice if it gives it to the entire team. Okay, that one is whatever. We didn't get much improvements from skill 1. Skill 2, affects self and 2 ally units with the lowest remaining HP, increase their defense, and shares damage taken for 10 seconds. So is that an improvement? So right now, additionally, we get an effect. Continuously recovers 5% of the caster's max HP for every 1 second for 5 seconds. So now instead of increasing defense and share damage taken, we also have the ability to recover their HP. So it seems more like a PvP kind of skill kit whatsoever. Burst skill. Alright, this is where Poli the Lolly shines. Creates a shield equal to 22% of the caster's final max HP, which protects allies from damage. She also increased everybody's attack by 44.5% for 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Alright, so this is very interesting. So she is giving a lot of attack boost, but right now you can see, if we look at the upgraded skill, the burst skill, right? It's still 40 seconds, a little bit sad right there. They didn't change her into 20 seconds, a little bit unfortunate. She gains indomitability for 5 seconds. Okay, what is indomitability? Protects the Nikke from being knocked out. That means they don't die. Even if they go down to 0 HP, they will survive with 1 HP, right? And this will last for 5 seconds. So basically, if a character, it makes her kind of immortal for 5 seconds in PvP. So if she is in police badge status, okay, police badge is going to be that one. Creates a shield equal to 100%. So within the first 10 seconds, basically, within the first 10 seconds of the battle, you cannot kill her. So let's say within the first 10 seconds of the battle, she enters battle, and then she dies within like 9 seconds. She immediately gains this particular status for 5 seconds. Immortal for 5 seconds pretty much. So it's like a PvP skill for sure, right? PvP esports, yes. Affect self, creates a shield equal to 40% of the caster's final max HP. Alright? And also increase the attack. So outside of that, the shield is now stronger. Instead of 22%, it's now 40%. And she also gains indomitability. The attack boost is still the same. Now, I don't think she gets much improvements. A little bit sad. I was hoping that she would be a PvE character, but it seems like she's probably getting more in the PvP department, right? If you are a PvP expert and you're a PvP lover, Poli the Lolly is there for you. Now, let's move on to the next character then. Alright, I know that everybody here loves Poli, but let's talk about the next character, which is who, guys? Who's the other one? Bei, is it? Bei or whoever. Let me see if I can find those characters. Bei. Okay. So everybody's favorite character, Bei.
Still can't stand
now she is a cheerleader, right?
But you're...
So what is she all about? Bei has always been a PvP character only. Alright, so she has never been a PvE character. She is also 40 seconds burst 2. Right, it is going to be a little bit annoying. So her skill 1 activates when using burst skill. Alright, affects all allies. So what she does is she shares damage taken with the allies, and also her defense increased by 10%. Alright, so what is this going to improve upon? So now she also recovers 4% of her HP when she performs full charge attacks, affects all allies except for self. So now she can also perform some sort of healing. The healing scales off her max HP. That is not bad actually. If you can heal using just your skill 1, which is a passive skill, you just got a full charge. Every time you full charge, that means you charge her all the way max, and then you hit the enemy, you get 4%, you recover everybody for 4% of your max HP. Similar to Rapunzel in that particular case, I guess. Skill 2, burst skill, only if self is alive, affects all allies. Proportionally shares damage taken continuously. So when you activate full burst, constantly covers HP by 2.8% of the caster's final max HP. So what has that changed, right? So it's still the same thing. Activates on when using burst skill only if self is alive. So now you can see activates when entering burst stage 1 and self cover has been destroyed. She also can recover 20% of her HP. Okay, so she has a little bit of recovery there to make her sustain even longer or even better, I guess. How about her burst skill? Her burst skill covers max HP increase by 18% of the caster's max HP, so she can increase her cover HP, which makes her cover even tankier. She also have one very cool stuff right here. Everybody's damage taken reduced by 8.8% for 10 seconds when you burst. Very cool. So reduce everybody's damage received by 8.8%. Has that changed? So it's still the same. She can recover the max HP, reduce the damage, but this time there's one additional thing, which is rebuild cover. She can now rebuild cover with 20% HP, activates once per battle. So if a cover ever gets destroyed, she can rebuild the cover once, activate once per battle, and that's pretty much it for 20% HP. So it is more for PvP, okay? If you are a PvP freak, then you build Bay, you build Poli. I personally would probably lean towards Poli, but 40 seconds, burst 2, you know, they are just not going to get much use, sadly, in PvE scenario. Now let's talk about the third one then. Who is the third one? I don't even remember who is the third one. Remind me who is the third one again. So we have talked about Poli. We have talked about Bay, Julia, Tove. Okay, let's talk about Tove first. Tove. Now this one, maybe it is going to be what it is. This one might actually change a lot of people's perspective, alright? Perspective. So Tove is somewhat already meta, right? Because she is going to be a burst 1 character in shotgun team. Now why is she meta? So number one right here, right, you can see there's a 5% chance of activating this particular thing called the emergency crafted bullet. So reload 5% of the magazine. So this only affects her, and during this particular period, every ally gets max ammo capacity increased by 2 and stacks 3 times, increased critical damage by 5.24%. So this is going to be what it is. A very, very cool passive right here. There's a 5% chance of occurring when you basically hit, but she is an SMG or assault rifle in this case, so quite a high chance to hit. So that is now changed. What has changed? Activate when performing 10 normal attacks. Okay. Emergency crafted bullets reload 5% of the magazine. So instead of activating when 5% chance of activating when attacking, now change to 10 normal attacks when attacking. So there's no more RNG now. No more 5% chance. Now it's a 10 normal attack. You straight up activate the emergency crafted bullets. Very, very cool. It do make her more consistent, I think. Critical damage 5.24%. Everything else is the same. Alright, that pretty much is the small change right there. No more RNG of 5%. So skill 2. Activates when temporary modification, okay, is fully stacked. All allies get critical rate 3.32% continuously. And then if the allies are shotgun, they get attack speed increased by 42%. 42. That's a lot. So what does this change? Critical rate from 3% increased to 10%. Even more critical rate right now. 42% allies with shotgun. Wait, what has changed here? Affects all allies with shotgun. Affect all shotgun wielding allies. They changed the terminology right there. Shotgun wielding allies. What does that mean? Means shotgun still, right? Nothing changed right there. So critical rate is now 10% as opposed to does that affect K? I'm not sure if it affects K or not. But that is like a very small minor change. Shotgun wielding allies as opposed to allies with a shotgun. So let's talk about the last one, which is the burst skill. Okay, this is her strongest skill right here. Miracle of Makeshifts. Attack increased by 2.32% of the caster's attack. So every time she bursts, you basically boost everybody here. Mirrors the count of temporary modification. This effect will last for 10 seconds. Okay, and then allies with shotgun, attack increased by 24% if they are allies with shotgun. Mirror the count stack, and then this lasts for 10 seconds. What has changed right here? So 2.32% mirrors the stacks for 15 seconds as opposed to 10 seconds. And then 24% 10 seconds become 24% 15 seconds. Okay, so it lasts, basically her buff lasts 5 more seconds. As opposed to 10 seconds, it now lasts 15 seconds. Which I think is a decent buff. It's not like the best buff ever, it's not broken, but it's like somewhat balanced, right? I think like hers is quite subtle. It's not like that crazy, but that's also because she's sort of already meta, right? Tove is sort of already meta. So now I think she probably would be a very consistent character with all of these buffs leading towards her. And I do think that that's a good addition to the shotgun teams, right? If you guys are looking to build shotgun team, Tove is going to be the best burst one ever. So I do think that she should be the priority if you care about the meta. But let's look at the last one, right? The last one is the best one. And the best one, we're talking about the character that everybody loves. Julia. Alright, everybody here loves Julia. But nobody knows who she is, nobody knows what she does, nobody knows that she's a burst 3 either. So let's talk about it, right? Julia has a very simple, very straightforward kit, as you can see presented right here, right? So skill 1, increase critical rate by herself by 26%. That's it, right? Simple, straightforward, no essay required right there. 20 seconds, this is going to active for 20 seconds and this lasts for 10 seconds. So basically she has a 10 seconds of a downtime, right? So what are we getting in the skill 1? Critical rate is okay, but it would be nice if it's attack percent. So this time, oh my goodness, alongside with critical rate for 10 seconds, we also get attack increased by 20% for 10 seconds. We also get normal attack critical rate by 36% for 10 seconds. So she's getting a lot of things. She's getting critical rate, attack percent now, and normal attack critical rate. Very, very good. What about skill 2? Skill 2 activates when the last bullet hits the target. Affects herself. Critical damage increased by 24%, stacks 5 times and lasts for 15 seconds. This time is the same, but activates after landing 8 critical hits with no normal attacks. With normal attacks, affect the target, deals 88% of final attack as additional damage. If Marcato lands as a crit, affects the same target and deals 100% of final attack as additional damage. Activates when entering battle, affects self, forcefully uses skill 1. So when she enters battle, she gets this buff, this passive skill that she has. Okay, very, very interesting. Okay, that's going to allow her to do a little bit more damage, right? What about her last skill, Climax? Okay, that's going to be Julia's burst skill. So she's going to enter Climax. Affects 5 enemy units with the highest final defense. So she's good in an AoE scenario when there's a lot of enemies, right? Deals 554% final attack as damage. Activates when Crescendo is fully stacked, which is skill 2. Affects the same target and do another 554%. Okay? So what are we getting more here? Okay, so deals 554% of final attack as damage, attack sequentially for 5 times. Okay, I like it more now. So basically they changed it in a way. Before this, she hits 5 enemies on the map, right? And each one do 554%. After that, she now affects random enemies and you can attack sequentially. So let's say if there's less than 5 enemies, let's say there's only 1 enemy, it's gonna hit the 1 enemy 554% times 5 because 5 times. Very, very good. Okay, that's a good part of it. So a Crescendo is activate here. This one affects the same target 544% as additional damage. Okay, so I think that's going to improve her damage significantly. I feel like she's way better against bosses now. Before this, she's only good when there's a lot of enemies on the map. She's like strictly an AoE character. Now she's way more flexible. She can be used against bosses and it can be used against like an AoE scenario. Kind of curious to test her out and see if she's going to be good, but I highly doubt she's going to be stronger than Red Hood or, you know, or Eve or like Raven, but that's going to be something that is going to require testing. Thrasher is going to be a little bit expensive. But yeah, out of all these 4, I do recommend Tove. She's probably going to be the priority, right? The other 3, it really depends, right? Iron type, we probably don't really need anyone soon because we already got a lot of other DPS characters, right? But yeah, that's pretty much the 4 treasure characters.